I usually don't read what I'm going to say, but I don't want to leave anything out, so I actually wrote everything out. The girls before you hold just about every record there is for NMS volleyball. Coach Korn, I'd like to thank him for all of his work, all the time that he puts in. Please stand up, Coach Korn. He volunteers his time, and apologizes when he can't be here. If he's 10 minutes late, I get 7 messages saying I'm sorry. And that's from someone who gets paid absolutely nothing but contributes so much to the team and to these girls. And 65 seasons?
Yep.
This was the 65th season coaching volleyball at high school and middle school level. So thank you, Coach Korn, for everything that you've done. Before I talk about the girls a little bit more, I want to thank Mr. Bills one more time, and that's for his work on the pet buses, getting the pet buses going, and all the extra work that goes into that, and then all of the kids that came on the pet buses as we made our run. 140 people at Shelbyville just is absolutely awesome. Walk in and have, see 3 busfuls of kids come off the bus and onto the bleachers, and we couldn't have done it without the extra time that you put in, Mr. Bills, doing that. So thank you very much. Kind of going off what Coach Sissel said a few minutes ago, Coach Korn likes to tell the story that after these guys had their 7th grade parent scrimmage, it wasn't good. It never is. And we really thought they would be lucky to win half their games. And we thought, that would be just an amazing achievement for this group. Boy, did they prove us wrong. They finished this season with a record of 23-2, and their NMS careers with a record of 44 wins and 3 losses.
Ooh-ah.
A single season record for wins to 7th graders, a single season wins for 8th graders, and shattered the combined. The combined before them was 36. They had 44. They were the first ever team to win a regional of 7th graders. They're the first ever team to win a sectional of 7th graders. They're the first ever team to win a sectional as 8th graders. And they're the first ever team to place in state in the history of Robinson volleyball. I said they had 3 losses in 2 years. In 7th grade, they lost to Maroa Forsyth, who ended up getting 2nd place in state, losing to a team called Pleasant Plains. Pleasant Plains won the state championship in 8th grade, and they defeated us in this state semifinal in the Final Four. And then the other loss, the one that was the shocker of them all. They were 1 game away from finishing undefeated the regular season 2 years in a row. And it was 8th grade night, never lost on our home floor, and we came out and lost. And they were, upset and crying in the locker room, and I had to say, it's your own fault, and all that, but you're crying. And in hindsight, that is the best thing that could have happened to this team. As much as we hated it at the time, still hate it now, it got them refocused. It got me refocused. We have, the problem, and I know that Coach Jenkins and Coach Snyder can tell you, the problem with 8th grade is you have to wait a whole week during 7th grade regionals before you play again. Well, we just went back to square one, and we started doing drills that we did during tryouts, and did them over and over, and they're looking at me like, seriously? But we just kept doing them over and over, and it helped get them refocused, and it helped them make the run that they made at the end. 2 weeks to the day after the loss to Jasper County, we were able to defeat them in the regional championship, and one of the best volleyball games I've ever seen at the middle school level, especially the 3rd set where we won 25-23 and won on the last point on a stuff block, and it was just, the gym went crazy, and it was pretty amazing. After that, we went to Shelbyville with 140 of our student friends, and that many and more parents and grandparents and cousins and relatives, and we won the sectional there, went to state and knocked off Riverton in the final 8 before losing to Pleasant Plains. And then we got the rare opportunity to still have a chance to win our last game of the year. Only the state champion gets to win their last game, or the team that wins the 3rd place game. And we were able to defeat Beecher in 3 sets to take home the 3rd place trophy at state. And that is such an awesome feeling to win your last game of the year, because you never get to do it. And it was a very neat night and a very neat run. In addition to that, their other accomplishments this year is they won the Robinson Invitational, the LEIC Conference Tournament, and the LEIC regular season. With about a month left into the season, I handed out a schedule that took them all the way to the last night of the year. I said, this will get you the night where the state championship is played. And I told them that if they follow that schedule and we get to use it all the way to the end, that they get to choose my next haircut. Here in a few minutes, I'm going blue. She's going to bleach it first so the blue stands out.
Yes.
Yay me.
She's on her way.
She's on her way now, thanks. I was hoping you'd forget. I'm so proud of what these girls have accomplished and excited to see what their futures hold. They just work hard every night. I can't tell you the amount of pressure that they had on them night in and night out. And you would think, having a good record and being a good team is an easy thing to do. It's not. It's not. Every team that they play knows that they were at state last year and they knew they were good and they were gunning for them and giving their best effort. And every night these girls just fought it off and went out and won and did what they're supposed to do. And I can't tell you how proud I am of just the way you guys held yourselves on and off the floor all year. And you guys just did an amazing job. You'll be getting your inserts tonight, your stats, a certificate. But not only that, our friends from First Robinson Savings Bank have purchased shirts for each of you that shows that you're third in state and has all your names and stuff on the back. Okay, get this to Coach Corn here.
Thanks, Coach.
They're all large as I thought. Okay, first our statisticians, Cassidy Frapp and Jaden Logan. Come forward. Keeping stats in volleyball on an iPad is not an easy thing to do. You have to follow every play. One person has to talk and doesn't get in. They're talking the whole time. The other person is punching things in. They don't get to watch a single point. All they're doing is listening and hitting this button, this button, this button. And those two did a great job keeping the stats for us. Players on the team, Kaylee Bailey. Kristen Beck. Anna Dean. Malia Gunn. Kendall Job. Audrey Maxwell. Amy McGahee. Adrian Randolph. Mallory Sutphin. Katie Vingstra. Taylor Wilson. And Lainey Wright. I also want to commend, and I know I did this in the opening, but the parents of this group have been amazing. If ever I'm fortunate enough to have a team go to state again, I hope to have parents like the ones we had this year. We would stop, our travel were a little bit further, so we'd stop, and I always had parents paying for the whole team's meals and other parents even offering after it's already been taken care of. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, and I know the girls did as well. So thank you guys very much for all of that. Our awards, just like the 7th grade awards, they're the same ones. They're all statistical based. Starting off with serve points, with 190 points served this year is Lainey Wright. We're cheap. She wins 2 awards. We'll just give her one plaque. Her other award is for aces, just like Jaden did with the 7th grade. A lot of times the most serve points has the most aces. She finished the season with 83 aces. Serve percentage. If you'd have told me this time last year that this person would win serve percentage, I would not have believed you. And that's not a knock on Malia, just she wasn't that great of a server. But she got a lot better and a lot more consistent during her 8th grade year, and she served at 91.6% and led the team in serving percentage. Malia wins another award also. She wins for kills, and this is my 10th year doing volleyball, and I don't think I've had anyone even approach this number of kills. She had 132 kills on her. Speaking of numbers that would probably never be broken, digs. A typical season leader in digs is about 55 to 60. We had, I believe, 4 girls get over that this year. This team just passed amazingly well. I looked up last year, and we had a good team last year. The 8th grade, the leader in digs had 84. This year's leader had 146. That is Katie Veenstra. And lastly, our leader in assist, and we had 3 girls that set a lot. 2 had more time in the front row where we actually set than the other. But all 3 setters are very good, and their stats, their assists were very close. But winning with 99 was Mallory Sutton. It's a quick turnaround for volleyball. It's a fall sport in high school. It's a winter sport in the middle school, so it's, you only have 1 off season in between. You already have a summer schedule at your school email for you to start looking at and think about. But take one more night to congratulate yourselves on a spectacular run as NMS Lady Raiders. In closing, I want to thank everyone again for coming tonight, and thank everyone for all the support during the year. Thank the coaches for all the time they put in. Thank the parents for all the time that you put in getting your children back and forth. And mostly thanking the kids, because we do have very classy kids. You go to other places and see the way that their students in the stands act, or the way their players act. We just have good kids here in Robinson, and a lot of that's because of the home life that you guys all provide for them, and we appreciate being able to teach them and instruct them and get some victories with them. Overall, summarizing the whole season, I look back at the boys cross country season and how hot it was in September. We had to push some meets back to 6 o'clock, and I don't remember having to do that for a long time. And for them to win the sectional and go to state like they did was quite an accomplishment. The girls basketball program is being turned back around, and it's exciting to see. They made huge strides in both 7th and 8th grade from last year. 8th grade team losing to a team that did end up going to state. The boys basketball teams both had good seasons, and they both lost to teams that went to state. I believe Red Hill, 7th grade, and then Marshall's 8th grade finished 4th at the state. And their regional games were both very competitive. And like Coach Schneider said, the 8th grade had beaten Marshall twice, prior in the year, and just couldn't get in the 3rd time. The 7th grade volleyball team had a very good year. We're excited what their future holds. And then the 8th grade team posted as many records as they did, and most of those, more than likely, will never be broken. Thank you all, athletes, parents, and everyone for all your support, and have a good night.